Judgment's a funny thing, isn't it? Individual judgment, judgment of others. Basically, the decisions that we make and how important they are and how they affect other persons, anyone, or other things, or the future, judgment is so crucial. Good judgment is so crucial. I think it's something worth talking about. Let's do it. People have judgment. We talk about that. This is a quality that people have. It's like compassion. You either have it or you don't. Hold on. My dog is eating something. She's not supposed to. Hey, stop that. Don't eat that. Anyway. Thank you. You did good. She's still a puppy. You either have good judgment or you don't have good judgment. You can develop, judgment is developed over time. It's based off of your personal experience. It's based off of wisdom. As you gain wisdom, you gain better judgment. Or at least you're supposed to gain better judgment. It doesn't always happen that way. When we're young, we make mistakes. We make mistakes all the time because we don't have a deep reservoir of experience to draw from to make better judgments. So you put yourself in situations that are bad. For me, I got into drugs, and that was a bad decision because that was bad judgment on my part. I hung out with the wrong crowd. I got into the wrong stuff. I gave up on my schooling because of it, my education because of it. Not that it just wasn't fitting me anyway, but details. I was in a bad way because I had bad judgment. I had bad judgment because I was young and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. That's normal. That's why we don't allow minors, people under the age of 18, a full array of freedoms. Like some of the things that you can choose to do as an adult, you can't choose to do as a child. And that's important. Now she's eating something else. Leia, why are you eating? What is going on with you? Get over here. Hey, I can hear her smacking. It's insane. And with that, the puppy's been banned from the studio. All right. Judgment. You make bad judgment when you're a kid. Your judgment's supposed to improve as you gain more life experience. You're supposed to be more thoughtful. You're supposed to gain wisdom. You're supposed to realize that your decisions can hurt other people. You don't know that initially. You make mistakes. But those mistakes are what teach you what the consequences of using poor judgment or having poor judgment are. And it is okay to make mistakes. You have to be allowed to make mistakes. You have to have room to grow as an individual. And I needed a lot of room to grow as an individual. And as I did, because I had lots of room, I feel like I grew a lot. And that's the whole idea. It's like potting plants. If your plant is in a pot that's too small, it doesn't grow very large. But if you have enough room, that plant will grow to the size of its container. So if you give people enough room to grow and to improve themselves, they'll do so. So you have to have that degree of freedoms. And that's one of the things that has made modern society better than older restrictive societies. Being allowed that freedom to grow, to choose, to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, and to share that experience with others through communication. See, it can be a beautiful thing, can't it? Good judgment is something that every good leader has. Good leaders have good judgment. And when you know this, you've seen it in your workplace, or in school, or wherever it was you've spent a great deal of time. You've been around people who are good leaders, people that you want to follow, people that you want to listen to, people that communicate well, and people that understand how important good judgment is. And they utilize good judgment constantly. Good judgment is tied to ethics. You make good judgment calls and you don't get in trouble. You don't break the rules. You don't break the laws. Good ethics and good judgment should go hand in hand. Now, what the hell does this have to do with anything? Well, we're in that period between election and inauguration when the advisors to the president are being picked. New leadership is being picked from amongst the parties. New decisions, new leaders are being chosen for whatever reason. And are they being chosen with good judgment or not? I want to start with what's happening inside the parties themselves. The Republican Party is basically, there's an old saying that Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line. And that's really the truth. Republicans are lockstep. They are the kind of together group that will either march to victory or march off a cliff. But they're all going to do it together. So for them, it's all about having good leadership. And if they fail to have good leadership, weird stuff happens. On the Democratic side, the older leadership is having to step aside. And we're going younger on the Democratic side. We're seeing the emergence of non-senior citizen leadership in the party for the first time in ages. And it's going to lead toward a more reflective, hold on. First of all, the leadership of the Democratic Party is going to better represent the population of the country. That's important. It's going to be more brown, more female, and younger than it has been, especially when you compare it to the Republican Party. Now, that's what's happening inside the parties, and they're all kind of aligning and figuring out what's the next step. Now, the other thing that's happening is the president is choosing his cabinet, his group of advisors that are going to run the different agencies and push the country in his chosen direction. And remember the last time Trump did this, he claimed he was nothing but the best people. That was the quote, nonstop. We're nothing but the best people. Donald Trump, during his 4 years in office, fired more cabinet members than every other president in the history of the country combined. Nothing but the best people, right? They were constantly dogged by controversy, by just flat out corruption at times, people spending inordinate amounts of money on their offices or on private trips to places, basically abusing their position of power and authority and the means that come with it for their own personal gain or edification. And they just kept getting in trouble. The reporting kept happening, and they kept getting fired for it. Time and time again. People like Ryan Zinke. And then there were others who just disagreed with Trump, who ended up quitting, like Rex Tillerson, the first Secretary of State, former CEO of Exxon, who was completely unqualified for that job. But on his way out the door, he called Trump a fucking moron. Nothing but the best people, right? Do you remember these people? Do you remember Jeff Sessions? Do we remember these people? Nothing but the best people. So we're going through it again. The only difference is now the thing that Trump prizes more than anything else is loyalty. You have to be willing to do absolutely anything he says. And the other thing he prizes is trust. Can he trust that person? Now, that leaves the pool of people that he's choosing from, it's pretty darn shallow. It's a pretty tiny group of people that he has to choose from. And notice, I didn't list competency anywhere on there. So when you see these picks get rolled out and everybody's like, that person has Linda McMahon has no business being in charge of the Department of Education whatsoever. Kash Patel has no business being in charge of the FBI. The guy's spent 15 minutes in law enforcement. You're right. That none of these people are qualified. Every once in a while, he accidentally gets one that is. And those people will probably cruise through, like Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, will cruise through. No problems. He actually has served on Senate Foreign Relations for years. He knows probably what he's doing. Way more than Rex Tillerson did. But I digress. Look, this is a sign of judgment. It's a sign of bad judgment. When you surround yourself with people who are not capable of doing jobs, you are dooming your own administration from the beginning. They're going to not only be corrupt, but also inept. And the things that they do get accomplished are not what the people of this country want. Donald Trump was hired by the country. That's what a president is. You're hired by the voters. We choose you to do this job. And we chose you because of the things you said. And one of the things that he said over and over again was how he was going to attack inflation. And we're going to bring down costs for the American people. Not one plan that he has proposed will do that. In fact, all of them will cause inflationary pressures. Everything from mass deportations to his tariff plan. All of them are bad choices. Did the voters make a bad choice? Time will tell. But the early indications are yes. But we'll see. We'll see. But so far, the judgment that this man shows is just as bad, if not worse, than it was the first time around. And like I was telling my wife this morning, it's only a matter of time before a bad decision and bad judgment cost the lives of millions of Americans. Oh, wait, that already happened. No, we could not have stopped COVID-19 from killing people. Nobody in the world did. Some places did really well. Other places did not. We represent a very small proportion of the world population, yet we also represented 20% of the world's COVID deaths. We handled COVID worse than any other advanced nation on the planet. Is that something? Is that something? Do you remember being told we should look into injecting bleach into our arms? Do you remember being told you could take what was it called? Enviromectin. Anyway, it's a fucking pet dewormer. You were going to take that because it supposedly knocked down COVID. It did. It's completely worthless. Enviromectin. I don't know. Don't take it. It's designed for use on animals. Don't take animal medication. That should be common sense. Use good judgment. You know what I mean? Judgment is important. It's important in your everyday life. It's important in the way that we talk to our kids and how we bring up our kids, how we talk to other people's kids. It's important in how we talk to other people, period. Even if you don't have kids, you should use good judgment when you communicate with other people. Like, you don't just walk around greeting people with expletives. You don't just say, hey, fuck your mother. You don't say shit like that. Because you never know whether the other person is going to take immediate offense to that, which they should, for the record, and slap you stupid, or worse. You have to use good judgment in society. That's part of it. That's part of the rules of society. We're supposed to get along. We're supposed to be able to communicate thoughts and ideas and feelings. And we're supposed to be able to communicate in such a way that we don't need to, smack each other around. Judgment is important. Judgment keeps you out of trouble. Judgment gets you promotions at work. Judgment increases your personal success however you judge your success, with the possible exception of if you judge your success by how big an asshole you are, which is a stupid way to judge success. Some people do it. Trolls. And not the good kind with the spiky hair that sings songs in animated movies. Trolls. Internet trolls. People who sit around and enrage other people for their own edification, for their own entertainment, because they think it's fun. It's not. You're ruining people's days. And it's only a matter of time before you ruin the wrong person's day. And before you take your quiet, secret online persona out into the world and it gets you in trouble. Just saying. It happens all the time. It used to happen all the time. Well, it didn't happen as often because you couldn't hide behind a keyboard when I was a young man. When I was a young man, you couldn't hide behind a keyboard talking shit. If you wanted to talk shit, you had to do it to somebody's face. And that meant you had to face the repercussions right away. Whatever they may be. Use good judgment. Find good judgment. Take the time to make good calls. When Donald Trump got on a plane with Matt Gaetz in Florida, he had no Matt Gaetz on his short list of people to head the Department of Justice, the new Attorney General. By the time that plane landed in Washington, D.C., he had decided he was going to choose Matt Gaetz. In that 2.5, 3 hour flight, he made the decision to go away from people that they were already trying to vet in as much as they actually vet people at all, and choose a guy who was not only under Department of Justice investigation for an extended period of time for serious, very serious allegations of a victim crime, sexual assault, child trafficking. Oh, yeah, he did some bad stuff. He was under investigation for all of that. And they didn't end up charging him, but it doesn't change the fact that he was under investigation for it all. There was a big report about to be released by the House of Representatives. All of these things pointed toward Gaetz being a completely inappropriate pick for this job. Bad judgment. And then he had to pull himself. Gaetz knew that he would never pass confirmation. He would never get through the process. And even if he did, so many stories had already come out, his reputation is ruined. So he quit. He pulled out of the running, and within 5 hours, he was done at 9 a.m., and by 2 p.m., Trump had chosen Pam Bondi, who at least was the Attorney General for the state of Florida. Rushed judgment. Rushed judgment is bad judgment. Take your time. Make good decisions. Make good hiring decisions. What Donald Trump is doing, fishing from this very shallow pond, is just kind of like stirring an incompetent stew. And these picks are going to hurt people in the real world. These picks are going to hurt people very badly. The decision to put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the world's richest man and a very rich medical hustler, medicinal hustler, in charge of a Department of Government Efficiency. The two of them are both the heads of the Department of Government Efficiency. Doge. It's just a big joke to them. Also, how can you claim to be a Department of Government Efficiency that needs 2 people at the top of it? Feels like one of you is already unnecessary. But all of that is just secondary. Look, we can't change what's happened. We can change how we react to it. We can change our judgment going forward, factoring in all of this new information. Watch very carefully what happens and know that there will be another election. There will be many more elections. There will be elections next year in places like Virginia and New Jersey, off-cycle elections. There will be special elections that pop up here and there. People retire, people unexpectedly, old representatives pass away in office. It happens. Not all the time, but it happens. In the Trump world, a lot of Republicans get in trouble for doing bad stuff. Because the complete immunity that Donald Trump runs around with does not extend throughout the Republican Party. They can still be brought down by their own corruption and, here I'll say it again, bad judgment. So, pay attention. Pay attention. And remember that in the midterms in 2 years, we're probably going to want to elect some Democrats to rein in the abuses of power that we're about to see. And we are going to see some abuses of power, baby. It's going to be wild. So, all of that is just a reminder. Judgment is important. The better your judgment, the better your outcomes. The things that you want in life are closer to you than you think when you use proper judgment. And good ethics go hand in hand with good judgment. Every day. You're allowed to make mistakes. You need to learn from those mistakes and move forward. And that's what we've got to do next. Move forward. Thank you all for joining me today. A lovely Friday, and I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. And welcome to December. I don't know if I said that on my pod earlier this week, but welcome to December. I hope it's a lovely one for everyone. Especially my listeners, because you're so sweet and so smart and shown such good judgment to be here with me. That's all just self-serving bullshit. Anyway, I really do appreciate you. If you feel like chopping it up with me, I am available on Blue Sky and Instagram and Facebook. Every once in a while, I pop on there and I was like, hello, where are you? My name is Trent Maddox. I do stuff. Until next time, hey, share this with a friend. Share this with a friend. Share all these back episodes with a friend. They're free. They're free. I don't even put ads in them or nothing. They tell me that I can do that, but I'm like, no, this sounds like something people won't want. They don't like that. So share with a friend. It's free. Don't cost nothing. Maybe you'll be entertained. Maybe you'll get a chuckle out of it. And I will be back at you again next week. Thank you all so much. Remember to be good humans. It's the very least we can do. All right? You would want somebody to do it for you. Until next time, thank you so much and love to all.